Olá, bom dia. Good morning. My name is Julian Marcus from the Portugal Positive podcast, and I'm here with Pete Bampton. Welcome, Pete. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Julian.
Hey, man. So Pete Bampton was the co-founder of the Awakened Life Project. Many people know this project in Portugal. It was a 15, 16-year adventure for Pete and the community, and an exploration and experiment in conscious community and awakening, meditation, qigong, and lots of spiritual practice. And I met Pete 7, 8 years ago as a photographer, photographing one of his community's beautiful weddings. It was a pleasure. And then recently, a year or two ago, I photographed another one. Yeah. And it was amazing to see the level of commitment to their practice and the beauty that they created for that wedding. They transformed a valley into what was like a boomland or a spiritual festival with amazing structures. I think two music stages, live music, pizza oven, and the quality of love and support that I witnessed. It was truly the most beautiful wedding I've ever photographed. Really, really enjoyed it. And then it was a surprise recently. Pete reached out to me, and we have a project birthing. We have a retreat together, and we'd like to invite the members of the Positive Portugal podcast Facebook group and YouTube channel to join us this Thursday to talk about the theme of the embodiment of the sacred masculine and feminine. We have a retreat coming up at Mont Mariposa in the Algarve, a retreat center that's dear to both of us. We both have a connection there. And we would like to invite you to an evening discussion and Zoom call on the sacred masculine and feminine, the embodiment in the individual, rather than these dualistic binary concepts. Is there anything you'd like to say about that, Pete, as we invite people to join us for a discussion, 7 o'clock Portugal time, this coming Thursday, the 25th. The Zoom code's in the description. Would you like to say a few words about the retreat? It's going to be 7 days, but a little bit more about the retreat and the discussion we're inviting people into on Thursday.
Yeah, so just to put it as simply as I can, the retreat's called the Sacred Dance of Shiva and Shakti. So Shiva as being symbolic of what we could call the sacred masculine, and Shakti of what's often called the divine feminine. And the dance is the energetic and emotional and potentially sexual dance that happens between those two poles. So my inspiration for this retreat has come out of my work over 15, 16 years with the Awakened Life Project. I have done and I've participated in and led men's groups for must be almost 25 years, something like that. So I've really learned a lot about what it means for us as men to transcend the macho jerk on one hand and what we could call the sensitive new age guy on the other, and become strong, humble, heart-opened and heart-centered men, connected to spirit. And then for women, although I didn't work as directly with the women, in latter years, I was much more closely involved with the women. And I think, women have, of course, their own challenges in terms of discovering what a true and authentic femininity is, that is not just in reaction to patriarchy, as we often see with feminism. A lot of women, becoming more equal in a man's world, but that's not necessarily what the feminine heart is really longing for. So it's really an exploration and adventure, but grounded in deep meditation. We're going to be going into silence and stillness for the first couple of days at the retreat. We really want to get sourced in the spiritual heart, where we're already fundamentally full and complete. Because the dance can really only happen when there's two full cups. If we have a half empty cup and a half empty cup, and as men, as Shiva and Shakti, men and women, we're trying to be fulfilled. We're looking for love to get love. Well, this is when we we have all the complexity and challenges that we're all very familiar with. So once we become a full and even overflowing cup as Shiva, as Shakti, well, then the dance can really begin, because then it's based potentially in ego transcending ecstasy and love, as opposed to wanting and needing and everything, that all the dramatization that comes out of a self-contracted sense of self. So we're looking to go beyond self into but fully embodied, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. What Julian and I are offering is a full spectrum journey, and I'm very excited to be working with him. I just feel there's a great synergy in terms of what we're cooking up here.
Thank you, Pete, for sharing all that. Pete's also the author of a book, The Fire of the Heart, and you can find out more about his work at fireoftheheart.net. The retreat that Pete's just mentioned is there and open for enrollments. We've extended the early bird, so if you hop on over to Pete's website, you'll be able to find more information about that retreat. Also mine at relationalbodywork.org. On the homepage, you'll find a link to the retreat too. Some of the things that Pete's invited me to share there are my background in somatics and body poem. So we'll be doing, after the silent days, we'll be coming into community, into connection with others, and doing that in a way that's grounded and embodied with what's true and alive in us, rather than the many stories that we often present or carry, which may not serve us best. So we're going to come together into our individual and collective truth after a few days of silence. And I look forward to sharing some of the tools that I teach in my school to the facilitators and the practitioners. So we will also be connecting with wellness within the system, vitality and wellness, through an introduction to cranial touch. In its simplest form, it's connecting to the wellness and the blueprint of vitality and wellness that stays with us our entire life. No matter how sick and unwell someone might become, there's still the memory of vitality and health and wellness in all of us. And it's very nourishing to connect to that. And in order to do so, we have to become extremely present. We need to get out of the way of doing or being the expert, and we have to become extremely present in our touch. So this is a clothed touch. It's very easy and accessible. It's a kind of touch you can share with your grandma, or with somebody in a hospital bed. You can do it with the hand, just holding hands. We are fully receiving that person. So we're giving space through that touch for them to express their uniqueness. And in our presence, we give the opportunity for the subconscious mind to reorganize. Without talking through someone's trauma, our implicit memories have a witness, a silent witness that's truly present. So this is a kind of touch which recently I've started to call with some students just feel and follow. So it's really getting out of the way. So we'll exchange some of these touch exchanges. We'll work with body poem. Pete's going to lead meditations and daily qigong. I'm going to share some qigong practices as well. And Mariposa's beautiful, isn't it, Pete? We're going to be down in this valley. We've got like the down the valley temple space. It reminds me of Bali in the tropics down there. It's really green. We're going to be staying in cabins. It's very secluded and private and quiet. I don't think there's much phone signal down there, so people can have a digital detox. Yeah, looking forward to it. What are the dates, Pete? Just to remind people of that.
The dates are 28th of March to the
4th of April. Yeah.
So it's over the Easter holiday.
Yeah, it's an Easter retreat.
We're hoping that'll enable people to be able to come for a whole week immersion.
Yeah, and for Portuguese residents and wage earners, the early bird price stays. So we wanted to make this as accessible as possible to the Portuguese, and the people that live here and earn a Portuguese wage, we know is lower than other European countries. So we've done that. And if you come as a group, if there's 2 or more in your booking, there's a discount there too. And if you're someone that likes to have massage or one-to-ones, we have a small team of highly skilled practitioners who will be attending the retreat to support people with one-to-one sessions as well. So yeah, thank you for inviting me. It's been great to team up our forces of things that we're passionate about and see the overlap and see where we can jigsaw things together to provide a really beautiful retreat down there at Mont Mariposa. The team are excited to host us, and we're excited to be going. So please join us if you're interested in these themes that Pete's touched upon there regarding the embodiment of the sacred masculine and feminine, how that plays out no matter our gender, our sexual preference. This is about moving from binary and duality into polarity, and to charge up the polarities within us and map them. One of the things I'll be sharing is feeling into where might I need more earth, where might I need more fire in my life, and expressing that through the Qigong and the inner meditation practices, the inner sexual alchemy, and how that plays out in our life and how we might live in a more full spectrum, well-rounded way if we're aware of where we could juice up our polarity. So I'm excited to share that kind of stuff.
Juice up the polarity. That's a great summary.
Cool. Thanks, Pete. Well, yeah, Thursday night, 7 p.m. The Zoom link's in the description here. If you fancy to pop on, it's free to talk to us about this theme. There's no obligation to go on the retreat, but you might like to afterwards. This is a discussion for an hour, 7 till 8, with Pete and I around polarities and the sacred dance of the sacred masculine, feminine, Shiva and Shakti.